For so many of us golfers, there is absolutely nothing more frustrating than the slice. You've probably tried everything, right? New grips, different drivers, a million thoughts in your head over the ball, and still nothing seems to work. But what if the fix wasn't in your hands at all? What if it was in your feet? We're about to dive into a story that uncovers a surprisingly simple secret to unlocking a powerful straight drive. Okay, let's jump right in. This is the story of a golfer named Kyle. Now, Kyle is probably a lot like you and me, just struggling with his game. But what his instructor found completely flips the script on how we're supposed to fix a slice. So this is exactly what the instructor was thinking when Kyle showed up for his lesson. He sees the gear and immediately thinks, okay, here we go, another slicer. He was getting ready for the usual lesson. Fix the club path, close the club face, the standard procedure. But as he was about to find out, this was not going to be a standard lesson.
At first glance, Kyle is a totally relatable golfer. Shoots in the 90s, fights for consistency. He even has a club literally named the Slice Killer. But that last point on the screen, that's where the story takes a sharp turn. The instructor puts him on a launch monitor, and the data was, well, it was shocking. His club path and his face control were actually really good. Way too good for someone who slices it all the time. It just didn't add up.
And that was the light bulb moment. The instructor realized he'd been looking in completely the wrong place. For so many golfers like Kyle, the slice has nothing to do with how you're swinging the club. The problem is how your body is moving, or maybe more importantly, how it's not moving. Right, so the real culprit here, the thing that was wrecking Kyle's consistency, it wasn't his swing path or his grip. It was a really subtle, power-robbing move that, honestly, millions of us amateur golfers make without ever even knowing it. This chart just nails the core problem. On the left, you've got sway. It's that side-to-side slide that feels like you're loading up for power, but you're actually just leaking energy everywhere. And on the right, you have rotation, a powerful turn around your spine. That's where the pros get their effortless speed and consistency. So what is a sway exactly? Well, it's a slide, not a turn. In your backswing, instead of rotating, your whole body just shifts sideways. A big tell is if you look at your back leg, it'll push outside the line of your foot. This one little mistake throws your entire swing off balance before you even get to the top. And the results of that sway? Oh man, I'm sure they feel familiar. You hit way behind the ball, that's a fat shot. Then you try to adjust and you catch the top of it, a thin shot. Your contact is all over the map because your body's just trying to find its balance again. It's a total recipe for a frustrating day on the course. Okay, enough about the problem, right? Let's talk about the solution. The instructor gave Kyle 3 incredibly simple drills. And the best part, you can do them at home, in your own backyard, without even hitting a single golf ball, to totally rebuild your pivot from the ground up. These are the 3 keys to retraining your body's muscle memory. The feet together drill literally forces you to rotate. The belly button drill syncs everything up. And the wall drill, well, that stops you from losing your posture. Together, they teach you the feeling of a proper turn so you don't even have to think about it. Now listen, if you only do one of these drills, make it this one. The feet together drill is just genius because it's so simple. You just stand with your feet touching and try to make a swing. Your body has no choice but to rotate. I mean, if you try to sway, you'll literally just fall over. It's a self-correcting drill that physically forces you to make the right move. All right, next up is the wall drill. This one is designed to fix a huge fault that almost always comes along with swaying. It's called early extension, and it is an absolute swing killer, especially when you've got the driver in your hands. So what is early extension? It's when your hips and your rear end thrust towards the golf ball on the downswing. As you can see here, that move forces you to stand up out of your golf posture. That gets the club stuck behind you, the face is left wide open, and hello, Slice City. By practicing with your butt against a wall, you train your body to stay down and rotate through the shot. It's a game changer. So after Kyle worked on these drills, after he learned what a proper pivot actually feels like, it was the moment of truth. Could this one simple change really make a difference out on the course? Well, the results were not just immediate, they were staggering. First things first, the instructor took away that slice killer driver. Kyle had been using that thing as a crutch for years. Now he was handed a normal, modern driver to see if his new body-focused swing could actually handle it. And the results came instantly. The very first number that flashed up on the screen was a 266-yard carry. Just think about that for a second. The ball flew 266 yards in the air. For a guy who normally shoots in the 90s, that number alone is a huge win. But then the screen updated with the total distance, 290 yards. That's a gain of almost 50 yards, maybe even more, in a single lesson. He went from being a chronic slicer to hitting absolute bombs down the middle of the fairway. And this data here, this is the proof of why it worked. Just look at those numbers. His club path was almost perfectly neutral, and his club face was just a tiny bit close to that path. You know what that creates? A powerful, tight draw. These are basically Tour Pro quality numbers. It proves his swing with the club was never really the problem. This is what the instructor told him. And man, it just sums up the entire breakthrough perfectly. All that frustration, all those years of fighting a slice, it all came down to a simple, fixable mistake in how his body was moving. So what's the big lesson here from Kyle's incredible transformation? What does all this mean for you when you're standing on the tee box, just praying the ball doesn't peel off to the right again? Here is the absolute key takeaway. I want you to think of your body pivot as the engine of your golf swing. If your engine is broken, it doesn't matter how well you steer the club. So before you spend another dime on a new driver or another hour just beating balls at the range, check your engine, check your pivot. And that's the question I want to leave you with. Go take a video of your swing. Are you sliding side to side instead of turning? Could this one simple shift from a lateral sway to a rotational pivot be the 50-yard secret that you've been searching for all this time?